Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage Jewelry. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit, my intuition, and the tarot to communicate energies to you, beautiful viewer. And we are looking at what is the universe organizing and orchestrating for you. So this is a divinely timed message for you. Whenever you come across this, the message was meant to find you. Interesting because I don't know what's going on with my recorder, but it is constantly just hitting record and recording me. So something's on automatic. I didn't change any settings, and it's interesting because it's just happening, okay, which is quite symbolic of the reading I am doing, which is something's happening, okay? It's just happening. It's being divinely orchestrated for you, and Spirit wants to bring this forward. So I heard from Spirit that sometimes we don't understand, obviously, the ways of what's happening behind the scenes, but Spirit was really wanting to communicate what this looks like, because sometimes we could panic or we could get in an energy of not understanding what's going on, and then we start to lower our vibration if we're confused, if we have some anxiety, if we're not in full support of where we're supposed to be kind of, led to. So obviously there is free will. However, we are all destined here to experience whatever it is that we at one point agreed upon to contractually experience. And sometimes our higher self chooses this, and our 3D self might have another idea of what we're supposed to be experiencing, okay? So those could be at odds, and as we know, our 3D self builds all sorts of ideas based on ego. So a lot of our desires are based on our ego desires, okay? So we are looking at what is the universe orchestrating for you that is divinely timed, happening in your life, and we have 3 options to choose from. So we have the first option here, which is the Lapis Lazuli Tower, okay? Take a look at this stone, beautiful stone, Lapis Lazuli. And for option number 2, we have the Rainbow Moonstone. All right. And for option number 3, we have this SHIVA Lingam. SHIVA Lingam. Let's see that. All right. So 1, 2, 3. I think I hold them always in the wrong order here, but 1 is the Lapis Lazuli, which is this one. 2 is the Moonstone. I'll do this so you can see the Shiva Lingam. And 3 is the Shiva Lingam. So feel free to pause, all right, and use your intuition to guide you into whichever stone you're intuitively pulled towards. If you're pulled towards more than one, that's absolutely fine. Just could mean multiple messages for you from Spirit. So we will start with the Lapis Lazuli Pointed Tower for pile number 1. All right, so we're going to start with the tarot, just to kind of get a little bit more of a pointed idea here. And then we'll pull some oracle cards. So if you don't resonate with messages coming forward here, could not be your message, and that's absolutely fine. So Spirit, for pile number 1, Lapis Lazuli group, what is being orchestrated by the universe? What is the divinely timed event, circumstance that is unfolding here behind the scenes for pile number 1? Thank you so much, and thank you so much, pile number 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy. I'm so blessed. All right, so pile number 1, we have the 5 of Swords. We have the Death card. We have Judgment in reverse. Now I'm using the Shuffle Tarot. So the 5 of Swords looks like the 5 of Cups. The Death card looks like the Judgment, and right after the Judgment is the Judgment, or right after the Death card is the Judgment card. That's in reverse, and the Devil is present here, okay? So quite powerful. Clarifying the 5 of Swords, we have the 6 of Cups in reverse. We have the Ace of Wands, clarifying the Death, and the Judgment in reverse. We have the Six of Wands in reverse. Bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay. So a lot of cards here giving off quite the struggle here, okay? Now, let's go back to the overall energy here. Bottom of the deck energy generally is kind of like the tone or the flavor of the bulk of the reading or the energy, okay? When I'm reading tarot here, the Five of Pentacles isn't, you know, it's probably one of the more weaker cards here in the tarot because it is, or I should say low vibrational type energy, because it is an energy of us feeling as though we cannot stack up, we can't measure up. We might be either feeling as though we're lacking resources, or we are struggling to make something work, so we're feeling left out. Sometimes we feel very alone, or we don't really know how to get going from this slump or from this place. Now in this tarot pack, you see the people here putting back the pieces of the stained glass window, which is shattered and is in pieces. And then you see this one person here kind of crossed arms, not taking part where everyone else is kind of working together. This card can depict that there is solutions here, and depending on what we're wanting to see or allowing ourselves to see, or what energy we're in, will determine whether how soon we can get back on track. Okay, that's traditional Five of Pentacles here, because the doors to the church are open and you have beggars sitting outside and they can go in and seek refuge, although they are outside begging for money in the cold. That's the traditional. Now in this one here, there's teamwork going on, and there's also somebody here who is choosing not to assist. Okay, so I think what's going on in your energy right now is you're feeling really down and out. I think you were really trying, and I think you've tried and tried again to put pieces back together in some sort of capacity here, in some situation that's made you feel maybe undesired, unloved, like you just have no more resources. Maybe you have put all that you could invest financially, energetically into a situation time and time again, and you've been trying to pick up these pieces, and there's an energy here that is either not helping or just hindering more than helping. And so I feel like it's been a challenge and a struggle, because you're trying to wonder why keep investing and fixing the stained glass window? Why put the pieces back together? And what's the point, I guess, of putting the stained glass window back together? And also, why is this person not helping? And you see one person here has another person on their shoulders. So I feel like in this situation as well, you might have been really going out of your way and doing everything you can here, and it seemed as though whatever wasn't working, there was a way to make something work, but somebody was not partaking or not engaging, or would rather be in an energy that doesn't contribute. Okay, so that's quite powerful. So I guess this message from Spirit could be like, you have lots of questions, you know, like, is it even worth me putting this together? What's this all about? Because I feel like your heart's been in a really good place. And so sometimes when we're investing and we're doing all that we can to make something better, and it doesn't get better, or we just throw up our hands as to, okay, is this even worth my effort and my energy? I think Spirit wants to acknowledge the effort and that loving energy and that helpfulness that you bring, and not to lose that. Although if we're investing with an energy that is not in the energy of wanting to collaborate, wanting to kind of engage here, it's kind of futile. Okay, so then that has nothing to do with you, really. Although I feel like this energy, sorry to linger on this, but I'm getting lots from that card. I feel like this energy is stuck to you. Okay, I feel like this energy is stuck to you, so it doesn't really fully make sense. It's like this energy doesn't want to help put pieces together, or even assist someone else in doing that, or make themselves useful, but they're hanging around and stuck to you. So I feel like there's some energy around you that maybe you're not understanding, you know, or wanting to free yourself of, really. So Five of Swords, okay, depicted in the Five of Cups scene. So I think there is a sadness here, and the sadness, looking back on the situation, like, aside from the Five of Pentacles being a low vibe, the Five of Swords and the Five of Cups are the other two really low vibe cards. Okay, so you pretty much got all the low vibe cards here. I feel this is your energy lately. It's like looking back on a situation, contemplating like, what could I have done? But it just resulted in a Five of Swords. So it was like, no matter where your heart was, or your where you were trying to make things better, it seemed like it just kept resulting in conflict. So you're kind of looking back on this situation, and I feel like you're pretty impacted by where this has left you. And this clarified by the Six of Cups. And you see 5 cups here at the bottom, and the 6th cup is up here in the cloud. Okay, so 5 of Cups. This is the Five of Cups scene, although it is the Five of Swords. And the Five of Cups is all about us looking back on a situation with regret, sadness. And we have this 1 cup up here. Okay, so lots coming through with this card. 6 of Cups is us thinking about the past. It is our past memories, our experiences, a feeling of familiarity with a person, place, thing of the past. It feels like home. It could be your soulmate energy here. I feel like there was a fantasy hope here with the Ace of Cups kind of floating in the air here, of having a new beginning, or having, yeah, an emotional new beginning here, where love can be expressed. Okay, and I feel like it was a desire or a hope, but I feel like the only experience you really had here was these 5 of Cups, which is just looking back in sadness. And this is also giving me heavy 6 of Pentacles energy. This is giving me 6 of Pentacles energy. So 6 of Pentacles is equal reciprocity, give and take. This is in reverse. So exactly that is like you've been investing emotionally and really feeding a situation that was really imbalanced, in hopes of some sort of emotional new beginning here. And you experience a lot of loss here. And maybe it's difficult for you to let go of this situation, this person, this experience here. But all that's resulted is 5 of Swords. So Spirit is recognizing this, because this is all about what is being orchestrated here, divinely timed. In the center of your reading, you have the Death card with the Judgment here. Okay, so Spirit is saying that this energy is coming to an end. The Death is all about clearing what's not working, and everything that is old and not serving, old values, old energies, people, situations in which resulted in this type of an energy. And this type of an energy is coming to an end, or has come to an end. And because this is in the center, I feel like you're dealing with the ending of something here that is actually transforming, but it's bringing in this higher truth. Okay, so this is perfectly in line, because it's like, why do we experience these things, right? Like, why do we experience loss? Why do we experience a situation? Why do we experience someone who might have been breadcrumbing or not balancing us out in a way, and we're having realizations about ourselves, because we can't really say what other people are supposed to do or how they can engage, right? The rules of engagement could differ from person to person depending on who they are and what they value here. So if we're dealing with someone who is not healed, or if we're dealing with situations in which people value different things, but we consistently contain our own energy and value, and maybe we have, the desire to give, we have the desire to love and to share, there's a lesson learned of when do we recognize that we can try, and if we are put in a state of lack, put in a state of an energy where we're feeling like we're not appreciated, we have to take a deeper look and ask truthful questions here in regards to what needs to change about myself for next time. And I can be more discerning. Okay, now I'm not blaming you in any which way, because I mean, I don't see that you've done anything wrong, but I do feel as though you've time and time again maybe allowed yourself to continue to engage in this or invest in a situation that's left you feeling like this, right? So discerning, who's deserving of my energy, maybe recognizing where we need to be a little bit more selective of who we engage with. And Spirit will put these sort of lessons here in order for us to strengthen ourselves as an individual, and our higher self wants us to ascend in a way to recognize that we don't then stop loving or stop giving or stop engaging with people, but we then become self-aware of who is deserving of us, and we become aware of our own self-worth. Who do we allow in our life? So I feel like the big point here is that there is an energy here of starting anew in an abundant way with this lesson in tow, because we now know where we don't need to spin our wheels or invest in situations that aren't being abundant. And I feel like a lot of you guys might still be in the energy of not wanting to start anew here, because we're processing and we're transforming here. Okay, and I feel like right beside the death card, we have the judgment in reverse. So it's like something's transforming, something's come to an end, okay, with the death and the upright, but right after it, it's judgment in reverse. So it's like we don't want to see. Okay, we don't want to see the lesson here. And when we don't want to see a lesson here, we're bound to repeat it. So, although things are transforming and changing, Spirit really wants you to be aware of a lesson here, okay? And the devil is here depicted on the judgment card. The devil is all about toxic patterns and behaviors, right? So let's say if we felt like we're in a situation where we were feeling this way. I think that's more of an aftermath feeling, more of this way, okay? Like these people here, and then you've got somebody here, right? Like consistently kind of trying to make that type of energy work. There has to be a recognition that we could be repeating something here, or addicted to a certain pattern of action that isn't resulting in our progression here. So Spirit is really wanting this to be kind of the main takeaway here for this lesson. And I feel like there is a new beginning here in line with something that you absolutely desire, that is abundant. Okay, that the goal is to bring in this this abundance. This is all about movement. Wands are all about movement, communication, passion, inspiration. So I feel like in the rubble, in the lesson, in the process, what's going on, what's being organized is a new beginning of something that you desire, that is abundance, that brings in the fruit that you weren't able to attain because of an imbalanced situation here. And right below the Judgment in reverse, we have the Six of Wands in reverse. And this is the scene depicted in the Six of Swords, which is, you know, leaving any situation in which there was turbulency, where there was a Five of Swords, and where people weren't playing by nice rules and they were kind of more self-serving. And we're leaving that and we're moving away to calmer waters. But these are wands, and wands, the Six of Wands is the victory card here. Okay, this is where we can celebrate a win. We're getting recognition, and it is in reverse. It is in reverse. So it could mean that we are having a difficult time because of a situation, moving on to calmer waters, which is trying to come in. New beginnings trying to come in here, okay? But like I mentioned in the beginning, when our energy is focused on a low vibe type energy, it's very difficult for new energies to come in, especially if the universe is aligning something up here, okay? And we're maybe trying to move on, but we're kind of stuck in some sort of energy mindset here. So we're not seeing the success that we can have here, okay? We're not moving towards victory. We're kind of stuck in an energy here. Yeah, see this, the scales of justice here, okay? So I feel like, again, the balance is coming in quite strong, that I feel you're really, really focused on the imbalance of a situation here, that there is a definite need to move towards something that is more balanced, more in line here, but we're still kind of in an energy of not allowing things. Okay, so we know that the universe is planning a new beginning here that is abundant. We want to see more about that. So at least if this story is resonating for you, then let's take a look at what the universe is kind of organizing here behind the scenes for you in this abundance, in this Ace of Wands. All right, Spirit, clear and concise for pile number one. There's the doorbell. I'll be right back. The universe is so funny. So I always have distractions in the morning. So that was the doorbell, and car parts were being delivered. So funny that we're talking about what is the universe organizing, what is the universe more delivering to you, okay? And the doorbell went. So something's coming, and I think something's coming quickly, being delivered to you. I don't think it's car parts, but I think what it is something that's going to get you to move, like move, okay? This is, like I said, this is about movement, inspired action. Okay, this is where we get inspired to move, because I think you've been stagnant. In fact, I know you've been stagnant. It's been difficult for you to move on from a situation, and a person's been unfair or been potentially toxic, okay? So let's see. What do we have? We have the Patient card coming out. This is the Intuitive Oracle cards. Affirmation, I can endure whatever twists and turns life brings me. Twists and turns life brings me. Something's coming towards you 100%. Something's being offered. Something's being delivered here. And the Patient, it's interesting because you've experienced something here where you feel like, yeah, you're healing from. You're a patient of a situation here that you're needing to heal, and out of the situation here that's very painful is how you're able to bring in what's coming in now. Here we have the Benefactor, affirmation, I enjoy life now as I take steps to realize my new tomorrow. So there is definitely new energy coming in quickly. The sooner we can embrace the new energy here. And look, the fruit at the kind of pinnacle of this wand, and the fruits on top of this person's head. Abundance, the goal being abundance. Being abundance. Okay, let me pull some of this. So abundance can mean a whole bunch of different things here, okay? Abundance of what though? Something fruitful. I see in this basket, it's a bunch of gems. And here there's a bunch of fruit. Okay, so I mean, sometimes these readings could be obviously metaphors, metaphors for other things here. So kind of have to use the intuition here to gauge what some of this could be. But I feel like there is something you highly value and something I feel that is nurturing and sustainable for you, that allows you to have inspired movement with, but I feel like it's being delivered. Okay, I see two rings. Two rings. I don't know if you can see that. Two rings kind of joined together. Hoops. So, what does this mean, Spirit? What are we seeing here? Am I seeing this? We have rest and rejuvenation. So, okay, you're getting confirmation, definitely, that there's a period right now that you're needing to reflect on, okay? I think because we're still kind of needing whatever sort of lessons here of awareness and understandings, this is going to come in a period of stillness, in a period of where we get to heal. And I feel like we're needing to heal from this in order for us to be in the energy of receiving. Because if the universe delivers too soon, we may not see, we may not be receptive, and we might not want to be receiving what we should be receiving. So this one fell out, which was journey. And you see this lady kind of going along a bridge to a lamppost here, guiding the way here with the light, but there's like all these options and all these choices, kind of like a crossroads with a bunch of different options. And she is slowly going over this bridge because she's transitioning from the darkness and where she's come from. But look at this lovely light that's surrounding her and the rainbow here. So Spirit is also confirming that through this transitional period, because this is also all about transitions, transformations, as you transform here and you're walking through this bridge, going towards the light, going towards the happiness and the clarity here that you're being called towards, you're going to come across having a lot of options and decisions and choices to make here. And in order to choose, you have to be kind of in a mindset of clarity, positive vibration. Because if we're clouded and we haven't learnt and we're kind of in this energy, we don't want to choose to go down paths that really aren't in line for us. So you're being protected here. Okay, you're being protected here in this path, and it's going to be as slow as it needs to go here, but that light is embracing you and hugging you, and Spirit's coming through with a really strong message here that nothing's going to pass you by. In fact, all these options, the direction in which you're going is going to be there. And it has to be there when you get there. But if you stall or you stop here along the way, it's for a very good reason. The reason being, you have to be in a mindset here that once you get here, it is exactly where you're supposed to be directed and going. And you'll know with certainty, no matter how many signs are on the signpost, how many different directions, it's going to be a direction that speaks to your heart. And it's because of the stillness, and it's because of you being able to be healed, you being able to come into an awareness of experiencing something that could have been very painful and very difficult to break away from here, and putting an end to that and having a realization here, okay? But once we have this clarity of mind, then we're ready to reach this point. So this is more of a why all this is kind of happening here, but what the universe is kind of intervening and organizing for you is this safe place of light that's kind of wrapping around you like a blanket, protecting you from not going back into the darkness, because this light is around you constantly, giving you one pathway, which is only the way forward. That's the only way to go. Okay, if she steps back, this light is going to reveal whatever darkness is there. And when we reveal what's in the darkness, we start to see. Okay, we start to see, and we can't avoid what we see here unless we stay in a state of denial. But I think we've already seen because of this light. Okay, but we're encompassed or blanketed by this beautiful light in order for us to keep going towards the options, the pathway, the direction in which we're going to be faced with. And I don't feel we're going to be overwhelmed with where we're supposed to be going. I feel like we're going to have a knowing once we get there. But if we get there too soon, we're overwhelmed. We don't know. Okay, no matter the light, I mean, the universe can't make the decision for us. All the universe can do is say you wanted some sort of experience, some sort of direction, some sort of purpose that you have, a knowing, your authentic self that you carry deep inside, that will come to you when you're in clarity, when you're in alignment. Mind, body, soul is in alignment, not when you're clouded or feeling down, or when you're low vibe, or still kind of in an energy here of, you know, being held back by other people's low vibe energies that kind of impeded on you. So you're moving forward. You are coming to a crossroads here, and you've got your baggage, you've got your luggage, because I feel like this experience is exactly what was kind of required in order for you to make the right decision here. In fact, had you not experienced this, I don't think that you'd be selecting whatever option is going to be in front of you. And look, she has, it looks like a lantern herself, but it's a blue light. And blue is all about the throat chakra. And what's kind of interesting is you pick the LAPIS LAZULI, which is throat chakra healing. It's being able to communicate our truth and our desires and be honest. So I feel like you've had to be really honest with yourself and with others, honest with your desires, and it's allowing you to move towards truth here, your light. Also that it looks like a gem. It looks almost like a gem lantern, and there's a gem on this basket. There's a gem here that you have already. I don't feel the gems coming in. You have some gem with you. You have a gem with you. Something about you having something within you that is very unique. It could be an ability. It could be, it's definitely something that most people don't just possess here. I mean, ordinarily, because I think it's something that is quite extraordinary. And I think it's quite dormant or quite filled with other things here. So you might not even recognize that you're carrying it, and it's wanting to be seen. It's wanting to be seen. And here she's kind of holding it out, but she's not looking at it. It's almost like she's like, I see, like looking away. So, but it is pulled out of the basket. You're getting close to finding what this is. There's something here that you possess that it feels very unique to you, like a prized possession here, okay? And the journey, I mean, there's a journey of life, very cliche, but the journey is identifying what this is, looking at it, and giving yourself the same sort of energy you were inputting in a situation here, okay? But the Ace of Cups is all about self-love and self-worth. So I feel like the universe really wanted you, one, to recognize there's something here worth value, within you, your own self-value here, okay, that is unique to you, that you might have not have seen, that you might have not have been putting energy. And this has to be something that you're giving to first in order for you to even move from, you know, an Ace of Cups to a Two of Cups here, if it's a partnership, or be able to invest in other situations. So you have baggage, you have a history here of an experience, you have a gem, an ability, some self-worth here. You've had to communicate and be honest. You're well on your way, although we still can't totally connect to what this is, although we have it with us. No one can take this away from us, this gem, this thing. She's hanging on to it. We're being guided to the light, to the clarity, to a knowing, to the truth here, in a direction where we could take many different directions. One of these directions could make us go back to this, okay? To whatever this thing is here, because, I mean, we can go any direction. But because of our experience, because of the lights, because of our protection, because of our understanding, once we get there, we're not going to make the same decision again, because how can we? That we've seen the lights. In this energy, though, we could make the same decisions that got us into this in the first place, okay? And because judgment in reverse is calling for us to see things for what they are and be honest and communicate truths here. Because after judgment comes the world, and it's the conclusion of a cycle, like a successful conclusion. We can go from judgment back to a fool to re-experience another cycle of the exact same thing if we don't recognize here and realize what we're being shown. And what we're being shown here, okay, because now we're vulnerable, we feel kind of delicate, we've been through an experience, we might feel, yeah, like just really naked to the world, surrendering to the experience, feeling Five of Pentacles. And Spirit and universe is coming down, showing you this devil, saying, hey, like, this is what you've experienced here. Like, do you see it? Do you see this toxic situation? Okay, and toxicity can mean many different things. Doesn't have to mean complete physical abuse here, but it could mean where we're neglected, where we're feeling not valued, where we're repeating cycles that aren't healthy, okay? So we need to see it for what it is here, and we need to embrace the journey, the baggage. So that's what the universe is kind of organizing for you, is this journey of forward movement, somewhere you really, really passionately are going to be very optimistic to go towards, that is going to be very abundant here, okay? But we might not even be thinking of a new beginning because our energy is kind of in this other space, okay? So just kind of be aware. And I know it's cliche to say just raise your vibration, think positive, but if the thought comes in of this situation, let's just give it to God, okay? Let's just surrender any thought that comes in and say, you know what, it is kind of what happened here, and I'm ready to release. I'm really ready to release. I'm ready to surrender, put my arms up and release it. Because what is it going to, you know, and I mean, easier said than done. We can, and I mean, I even do this, you know, if a situation happens, you kind of revel in and you think back on it, but we're just feeding that energy. So if meditation helps, meditation helps. We need to get very still. We need to silence the mind. Now, if you haven't thought it over already, let your mind wander there, okay? Because it's funny, in spiritual teachings, we can say, oh, disconnect your mind. Your mind gets in the way, and we give the mind a bad rap. I think your mind is absolutely beautiful. I think your spirit's absolutely beautiful. I think your heart's absolutely beautiful, okay? Mind, body, spirit, when we're all aligned is when we're truly functioning from the highest place. So we can't just silence the mind. What we need to do here is allow our mind to think whatever it was thinking without judgment. Have that thought. Let it pass you. Let it pass you. There's no point in worrying constantly about it. But if the thought is coming, let it pass you. You know, and once you've done this and just monitor where your mind is going, it's telling you something. It is actually trying to get you to see something here. Accept it. Don't fight it. Don't resist it. But after a while, when we've reviewed it all, it's time to silence the mind and accept it and thank it, you know, and then get spirit and our heart aligned here. And if we have to speak a truth to ourselves or come forward with a truth to another in order to get the clarity and move on, then that's what needs to happen. And your mind can give you direction. Okay, and spirit can give you direction, and your emotions are giving you direction. And when all three are saying, yes, this feels right, then we're able to move forward. But if one part of us is not really aligned, we get stuck. Okay, so beautiful reading, pile number 1. I hope this resonated for you. I love you guys very, very much. If you're drawn to another pile, visit me there, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous pile number 3. You picked this rainbow moonstone. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you could see the iridescence in this. What's really interesting is that this stone is all about balance, mind, body, and spirit. But there's also like very mystical type energies coming from the moonstone here, facing your fears, but really about bringing in balance. And I didn't realize the SHIVA lingam was also about balance, bringing my body and spirit into balance. So could be that there's multiple messages here or piles for your picks 1 and 2, but I've found at the end of pile 3 we were talking about mind, body, and spirit being in balance. So there could be just a theme in the collective here going on, but I do feel as though your reading will be absolutely valuable to you if it does resonate, of course. And we're asking spirit, how is the universe kind of aligning things for you? Okay, so things are being aligned here in the back end. The universe is aligning things. Divine timing is in play. So I do feel like this message is coming to you at the right time, and spirit is aligning things at the right time. So let's ask what this is and see what we need to see or what we need to hear. All right, so we start with the tarot to provide some insight here. We have the 6 of Swords. Oh, we have lots coming out. We have the 2 of Swords. We have the Fool in reverse, and we have the Strength card. All right, I'm going to clarify these. Spirit, for pile number 2, how is the universe organizing things in a divinely timed way here? How are things being organized for pile number 2? Okay, well, these don't want to go back. We have the King of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the 2 of Wands. And we have Justice. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. It's funny because I get interesting and wow. Those are the only vocabulary words I know when I'm doing a reading. Interesting. Wow. But that's exactly how I'm feeling. Like, wow. Oh, okay. Bottom of the deck. 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups. But look at that 8 of Cups. Look at that 8 of Cups. It is depicted in the Shuffle Tarot as the 8 of Pentacles scene, but this is the 8 of Cups. So this is the flavor of this whole reading here, to give you an idea of sort of the situation at hand here. So someone's walked away from something that wasn't emotionally fulfilling, and I don't think it's you. I think you're trying to put something together here. Okay? Maybe you're not quite sure or confident in your ability to put things here together, because the 8 of Pentacles is one of the most task-orientated and dedicated cards in the tarot. Someone who attains a skill of sorts, someone who is focused. This could mean work as well, but we're not seeing Pentacles, we're seeing Cups. So I think you've been trying to work with your emotions. And look at all these different types of cups here. Okay, there's different types of cups here. Okay, and cups are all about our emotions. There's one broken one here, one kind of more traditional standard cup we'd see in the tarot, and then all these different ones. And then look at this person's hanging on to this silver sort of, I just heard Stanley Cup, so you guys might be Canadian here, but Stanley Cup looking cup, okay? Could be significant for you guys, but it's bigger than all the other ones, and he's shining and he doesn't look happy. He looks really sad. He looks really sad. I don't know what energy, if this is the Fool energy here, but I think there was a walking away. Yeah, you could have walked away, although I feel like there was some sort of parting of ways, or at least you're removed from some situation here in order to put energy or effort towards your emotions, or tweaking them in a way, or paying attention, or putting mind to your emotion, or really having to work with something here that I don't think maybe you think I don't know, it's kind of almost like I feel like you're forced to do this. And my stomach's rumbling here. I'm hungry. Sorry, that's just, I'm hungry. But yeah, you're being kind of forced to sit down and put energy. This could mean more work that needs to be done as well with the Eight of Pentacles here, traditionally, okay? Because we're not quite at our 9 or 10 of Pentacles. We're still got elbow work to do. So I feel like there's still work to do when it comes to your emotions. It's kind of how I feel. And maybe you're focused on something here that I think you found that I think you're emotionally, I don't know if you're attached to it or you're giving special attention to whatever this is, because it's bigger than all the others. So I think this is impacting your emotions a little bit differently than it has in the past. And I feel like in the past, you're able to shelve your emotions. And now I feel like you're hanging on to something here that's quite significant. But you look, is that a spider? Sorry, I thought that was a spider falling from heaven. Okay. Sometimes they like, I don't know, just come and I don't like spiders. It must have been a fluff. I'm so sorry. Okay. So you have your hands here on something that I think you're emotionally tied to that seems bigger than all the rest, that you're being focused to kind of put in energy or put something into it that I don't think you have or want to, or there's more to go. And I think your experience has been, I broke something in the past when I tried to do the same thing, or something didn't work. So now there's like an anticipation, like, what if I drop this? Almost like not even the desire, or maybe the confidence that you are able to or want to invest or polish that cup or do whatever you need to do here. And I say need, we don't need to do anything, but I feel like you're sitting down here, you're like looking at this like you want to do something here. And when you've experienced in the past, I think you've shelved it, or it was easy to manage here, except one broke in the past. So now it's like, oh, what happens if I don't know here or break this? And yeah, so we've beat this energy, but that's kind of the energy I'm feeling here for you. So I feel you want to be victorious here, okay? Because I mean, this is the Six of Swords, although it's depicted in the scene of the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is an ego card, because it's people looking at us and we're kind of all eyes on us, and we're successful. We do, you know, a victory dance here when we accomplish something. So I feel like you want to be successful. You might feel appearances here matter in some way. So I feel like this more has to do with confidence in yourself and how you appear. Okay, because right under that we have the King of Wands, and he is upright. So King of Wands, and look, he's depicted as the Emperor. Emperor is very similar to a King of Wands when it comes to confidence. Okay, the only difference is the Emperor is a little more controlled. He's a little more orderly. He's a little more structured. Whereas the King of Wands is just very confident, and some would say even could be arrogant in his shadow attribute, right? But he doesn't really stop at anything, gets what he wants. He's very confident here. So I feel like you are someone who is very structured, someone who is orderly, someone who likes order, someone who is quite logical. Maybe you like things in their place, and a place for everything and everything in its place is what I heard. So maybe you're used to certain structure here. I do feel like you are an experienced divine masculine type energy here coming through, okay? I don't read for genders, but that's the type of energy coming. So at the core here, source, you could be divine masculine energy. We all carry masculine, feminine energies. So I feel like there is a need to embrace your King of Wands as this Emperor, because I feel like you as this Emperor might not have that innate thing that the King of Wands has, even though it's saying King of Wands. I think you know you need this, or there's something about your confidence, something about how you're going to appear successful, how you're going to go in to win something. but you're needing a confident, or you're needing to, yeah, trust in your ability, especially when it comes to your emotions here. Okay, something that maybe speaks to your heart here. This is also 1 cup, so I feel like yourself, you know, how you're responding and how you're treating your own emotions, your own self-care. The energy and effort you're putting into yourself, your self-worth, and how you're seeing yourself here, how you're perceiving yourself. Now, this is not the 6 of Wands, though. This is the 6 of Swords, okay? Just the 6 of Wands is coming in because of the scene. The 6 of Swords is moving away from turbulent mental anguish, where we could have experienced a 5 of Swords, and we could have been engaged in a 5 of Swords because we could have been self-sabotaging. We might have not have stepped forward. We might have not have been in an energy, exuding an energy here to be successful. So it resulted in maybe a self-sabotaging, or doing things here that causes conflict. Maybe we were just mentally in a prison that was not allowing us to trust ourselves to be victorious. So we're moving away from that energy, okay? We're moving away. We're moving to calmer waters where we could have victory. So we're maybe taking a look now. How can we get in control? How can we gain the confidence, and how can we change circumstances so we can move out of a situation that I don't think you want to be in? I think you want to win, okay? I also see this rider here with a child. So I feel like maybe you've been really focused on your inner child healing here, okay? And maybe the situation here, and we see that was broken, could have been a situation that resulted from a past experience when you were younger. Maybe, as you know, your shadow side here that's developed over an experience that resulted in shattering some sort of part of your emotions that makes you feel uncomfortable, or just something here that I feel you're like, this child is representing. I feel as though, look at this rider embracing this child, okay? So I think Spirit's message coming in pretty loud here for you guys is that you are being, your inner child is being recognized, and you are kind of in an energy here of allowing yourself to nurture your inner child, to be graceful, to use kid gloves and managing a side of yourself here. You know, we aren't harsh on children. We allow them the time to figure things out. We have patience. We provide an energy of a safe place for them to experience, and we don't make judgment. This is what the universe is saying to do for yourself in order to get to where you're needing to go, okay? There is no real rush here, but when we do this, we then step into a confidence because we allow our inner child to speak up. We allow ourselves to accept whatever sort of energy that we might have been shoving down, that might have been our inner child trying to come out, and our inner child will start screaming, kicking, fighting, doing whatever in its power, knocking things over, okay? Children knock things over all the time in order to get our attention, to say, hey, like, I matter too, like, recognize what's going on here. So there's a part of you wanting recognition here, okay? Part of you wanting recognition, complete recognition. And if that means quieting everything else and just looking at what this is and embracing that as it is, what it is and why it's there, and then just accepting and allowing yourself to move forward in grace with what this is in a patient way. And I feel this will lead you to victory towards where you're going, okay? But I feel like there was a need to make a decision here. And I feel like this decision required an emperor, but it required the King of Wands energy of an emperor, not only to be, you know, to empower themselves to make a decision, but also the confidence to make that decision. And look at this 2 of Swords. There's a blindfold. So the 2 of Wands depicted here is where we can choose the path that we have always been on, or the comfort, the same old, the wounded side of us, this part that we don't have to look at, that we could just live with and experience the same experiences over and over, or just maintain complacency, or whatever we're experiencing, we can maintain. And then the universe here divinely intervenes in giving us an opportunity to choose a new direction, our dharma, okay? So we have the option to choose a new direction here, which is kind of what we're destined to choose in order to fulfill our next chapter here, or learn a lesson here of, you know, but yet the free will allows us to choose. You know, we can choose to remain, we could choose to move forward, we could choose to sit still here. And really, this Two of Swords is sitting still. This is indecision. This is burying our head in the sand and not deciding, okay? And we're not deciding, and we're sitting here kind of blindfolded because maybe we're not wanting to see or seeing what we're needing to see. And I feel like maybe the universe was crying really loud here with this inner child of yours, okay, with this side of you, some side of your emotion that is wanting you to look at, that would allow you to make a decision here. And when we are kind of leaning in on a decision here, preparing to go on this journey, we need the confidence then to pull the trigger, right? Because this always kind of gives me when we're shopping online and we put everything in the cart because we have all these hopes and desires and wishes, and then when it comes time to hit checkout, we're like, and then it sits there for whatever, 5 days, and then we get an email saying, oh, you have all this stuff in your cart, are you sure? And then we kind of maybe chicken out. But look, his, her, his, doesn't matter. This person's hand's bleeding. Okay, so I feel it's painful to do something in this situation. I feel you want to, you're hanging on to it, but it's so painful. Okay, we're drawing blood here. I feel like it's painful to move in this direction, even though I think we know because we're hanging on to it. We don't quite see, but intuitively we know that spirit is guiding us this way. But when we grab it, we're like, ouch, like, why does it hurt here? Okay, like, it's just maybe safer to stay where I am, because maybe we don't want to go here. I don't think we want this, but we also don't want that. So it's like we stay here, and this is more uncomfortable, right? Because I mean, at least here we could just kind of carry on, but I don't think you want this. And when I say carry on, is like carry on, same old type energy, right? But I feel like you already know intuitively, like you're supposed to be. But it's like, if I'm supposed to be doing this, spirit, if I'm supposed to be, you know, moving along with what the universe is putting in front of me, why is it painful, or why is it not allowing me to grab this and move on? Because he's grabbing that blade. Okay, so universe's message here is saying you're experiencing something here in which is feeling very painful. So we're trying to look at, you know, how is the universe kind of aligning things here for us? And I feel like the universe, one, the strong message was to take a look at the inner child that's calling out to you in order to resolve or look at something when it comes to self-worth of your emotions, or how you engage with your emotions, how you put forward energy or effort towards something here. And maybe in the past, this other sword was shelving things that might have mattered, shelving emotions you were able to shelve, okay, because you're able to. But we've had a bad experience here, and now we're being given, or we see something here that seems bigger than the rest, that matters to us more. So it's like we don't want to just shelve it again. We know we're being intuitively called towards what we're supposed to do, but ouch, right? So we might have experienced an ouch here, and this is one truth here, okay? One truth that hurts. So I think there's a truth here that maybe is a difficulty for you to accept. Some sort of truth is going to be difficult for you to embrace and accept here. Okay, so let's take a look. That's Two of Swords is being clarified by this Queen of Wands. This is interesting. This story is getting interesting. We have a King and a Queen of Wands, an Emperor and an Empress. Okay, so divine counterparts, divine masculine, divine feminine. If you're resonating with this story being your own story, which I feel is you balancing both sides of yourself here, because that Ace of Cups was giving me self-love, was giving me self-worth, and the Empress is all about recognizing her self-worth and recognizing her value, okay, and giving her self-love, unconditional love, being able to receive love. And this could be the emotion part of you that might have been shut down as your divine feminine energy here. But this could also mean trying to see something of your inner child that might have not have worked out well with a divine feminine, a mother energy, a past person, feminine energy here who we might have had a bad experience with that we now tuck away or don't want to see. Okay, but there's divine counterparts here. So if you're experiencing something with somebody who you're absolutely attracted to here, or giving you some sort of attention. This is like the Queen of Wands is an absolutely beautiful energy here because it's all about passion, desire, attraction, manifestation of all things wonderful here. And I'm seeing a swan here with ducklings. Swans are signs of twin flames here, okay? So that's coming through as a message for some of you guys. But we see the divine couple, okay? Masculine, feminine. And the divine feminine here, the Empress, or this Queen of Wands, is right under this Two of Swords. So I feel as though there's an energy here that's making you intuitively be called to make a decision here you're unable to make here. But I feel it is kind of driven from this. So you could be resonating with the story where the universe is wanting you to recognize your divine feminine energy here in order to really deal with it in a way that is supportive and not tucking it into the shadows. There's a voice that's needing to be heard. Swords are all about communication and our thoughts, okay? But I feel like there's a truth here that needs to be intuitively kind of spoken or known, and I feel it's being driven by this side. And if this is an external feminine to you, then this person could have triggered this sort of an energy here within you. But I do feel like these two balance each other out and are very drawn to each other here, okay? So I see this Queen of Wands facing forward, and I see this King of Wands facing the other way. So I feel like you're not wanting to see something here in regards to your divine feminine energy that's either around you or within you. And it could be because it's painful, okay? That inner child. So the next card we see here is the Fool in reverse. And this Fool is depicted as a young Hierophant here, okay? The Hierophant is all about higher level learnings. And when we say higher level learnings, this isn't like just, you know, we go to school and we learn something here, some knowledge. Higher level is we learn about love, we learn about spirit, we learn about our soul, we learn about our mind, we learn about how we function, we learn about a truer knowing here of self, mind, body, spirit, okay? And we commit ourselves to an understanding, we get enlightened, okay? I feel like this is a higher learning for you in which you might have not have been jumping into. You might have not have been committing yourself to an enlightenment here, an information here that was wanting you to experience or learn. And sometimes, like I said, our higher self will understand what sort of experiences and lessons our full soul self will need to experience, but then our 3D self might have resistance. We might not want to experience whatever it is because we're kind of here in the matrix world, building our own ego and seeing things from a more immediate sort of energy. But our higher self will be like, you should learn the lesson here of, you know, this deep unconditional love of self-value and worth. So it might put you in a situation in which you experience the opposite and you're like, I would have never chose this for me. Yeah, but there's a need for you to have a deeper understanding here of self-worth and of self-value. So when you go on to something, then you know it right away. You've already learned it. You recognize your self-value because you've experienced something here that's brought this into awareness. Okay, we're not wanting to see, and I think we're not wanting to see because we're not ready to take that risk, right? Do I hit the checkout button? There's something holding us back from hitting the checkout, and we're not, this could be not wanting to take the risk, not wanting to commit. This card, I don't like the Fool in reverse at all, and I'll tell you why. I normally just read it as somebody who isn't wanting to take a risk or somebody who's playing it safe, which it could mean all those things, but it could also mean somebody who is being quite, like, I feel there's Five of Swords energy that we're trying to move away from, and self-defeating. I feel like we're self-defeating here in our actions. I really do. I feel like we're self-defeating. So instead of showing self-worth, we're doing a whole bunch of things that kind of undermine our self-worth. things we might not be proud of. We're not committing to ourselves in a way that we know better, that we trust in ourselves. So we just surround ourselves with things. I was going to say stupid things, but and we continuously engage in whatever this is, and it makes us feel like shit. So then we hurt. We hurt when we have to make a decision here that we intuitively know might be better or might be more in line with our truth. And our truth really is that we all deserve unconditional love, that we're all beautiful souls here that are deserving, okay? But to choose this, it's like, then we got to recognize that we were in this energy and we are actually supposed to be like this. So we'd rather just shut it down here, okay? But this is painful. This is painful. So under this Fool in reverse, we have the Two of Wands depicted by the two people from the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is a beautiful divine love, okay? It's these two counterparts giving love, balancing love. The Two of Cups are two people coming together to share. There's a balance card, okay? This is also balance card because we got two swords here, although we're not deciding here. These Two of Wands are crossed, okay? Two of Swords are kind of separate here, crossed. So I feel like it's exactly it. What is the universe kind of intervening here is there's an energy here of divine feminine, again, whether it be within or an external energy here, that is conflicting with your everyday kind of mantra or thought or way of being, your value of how you're traditionally living or surrounding yourself, okay, or engaging here, committing yourself to, maybe foolishly. And this divine feminine is blocking this or making you see this now. I don't think you can avoid not seeing it, although you are with this blindfold. It's happening, and the universe is putting this in front of you because it's calling you to, yes, be this emperor, but this emperor needs to embrace some sort of King of Wands in order to have the confidence and the capability to nurture this child, this inner child self, okay? And I feel like it's causing a conflict here, but I do feel as though both these people, both these energies need to get into balance here. And right now there are two opposing things here that can't exist together. So it causes this like resistance. Okay, the Two of Wands, like I said, is having a choice. And I feel like we're at a stop again. So every time there's a choice to be made, there's a stop, there's resistance here. Something is highlighting, something's not working here. So it's stopping you from moving towards what you want. Because the Ace is all about movement and what we want. And in this case, the Ace isn't moving here, okay? So it could be a partnership here that isn't moving. We're not choosing. We are needing to balance self. We're needing to heal an inner child thing here. Now, what does that mean? That means the universe is trying to allow you to build up your strength and your courage to face a fear here in maybe seeing your inner child self as someone who is worthy. Putting in the energy and the time and the efforts emotionally into yourself to polish yourself up here. And this requires a lot of strength here, okay? It requires a lot of strength to face your fear. We have to know how to move forward despite fears, because fear is always going to be there, right? It's just a matter of, do we sit there and not do anything, or do we face the fear and do it anyway? And look, the Empress is there with the Sword of Truth. I feel like you can't escape this, whatever energy this is. And it could be your inner self again, wanting to balance out your divine feminine, divine masculine energy, okay? Whatever you've experienced here in the past that's caused pain, or this energy that is encouraging you, or holding a mirror in front of you. And the mirror is, take this sort of truth in order to move forward. This is the Chariot. Okay, the Chariot's all about movement, and it's about integrating our shadow aspects with ourselves, with our light attributes, in order to still move and be balanced with the universe. Okay, because we can't completely rid ourselves of our shadow. We can't deny that we have shadow aspects of ourselves, but it's how do we integrate it and accept it and handle it again carefully and graciously. And I feel you want to ride into victory. You want to move into success here. That's the Chariot. That's movement. Okay, in order to do that, there's a need to embrace a truth And I feel like the divine feminine here is holding this sort of truth. Well, I don't see she's holding it. She's kind of reaching out. She's kind of bringing attention to it. The Chariot has this sort of truth. So in order to move, there needs to be truth here, okay? But this divine feminine is reaching out. So I don't think, yeah, okay. So there's a message here about what the universe is trying to kind of align here, is that if your inner divine feminine isn't seeing your self-worth and your value here, it's reaching out for you to see a truth here, to embrace the truth. And if you're resonating with an energy here of a divine feminine here that you're unable to commit to here because of some other commitment of, like I said, a not wanting to see something here that we might intuitively know, I feel like there's an empty-handedness here of a divine feminine who can't provide you with something here, who feels kind of like, I mean, this divine feminine's on her knees, so she feels kind of helpless here. And the sort of truth is with the Chariot, with the movement. So it takes two people, okay? It takes two balanced energies in order to move. And because I'm seeing this, I do feel this involves somebody else here, okay? Or maybe you want to move along with somebody else, and maybe all of this whole story could be true to you. In order to move forward, there's a need to balance energies here and to have movement here to get on this Chariot. You know, I feel like this Empress is not moving to the Chariot so much as understanding some sort of truth. Oh, and there goes my email. Okay, so right underneath the Strength, what do we see? Justice. And it's interesting because the Strength card usually depicts a lion, which is all about the courage. And guess what's all about courage? It's empowerment. It's the Emperor. It's the King of Wands. It's the Queen of Wands. Okay? Courage and justice. So stepping into this energy, and even this energy, because I feel this is what Spirit and the universe is trying to arrange divinely timed lessons here in order for us to recognize something here, is embracing an energy here of confidence, empowerment, in order to bring justice to ourselves and to situations in which we're in. Okay, this is the Maiden and the Lion from the Strength card. Coming in again, facing our fear. Where do we get that courage, that confidence? We get it from, you know, understanding a truth and acting in line with the truth. Because if we don't act in line with truth, we start to do foolish things here. Okay? And I think we want to be in line with truth. And I think the sort of truth here has caused a lot of hurt, so we just would rather avoid it. But we're causing more pain staying in the limbo land here rather than the movement here, okay? Walking in truth despite the fears, because we have the courage to do this and the confidence to step forward in ourselves, because we have the ability to do this. And you do have the ability to do this. Spirit wants you to see that. That's why this universe is arranging this for you, is that you have this ability. Okay, you have this ability. So let's just pull 2 cards here as kind of final guidance here in regards to the universe is kind of telling you right now about the situation. Spirit, what do you want to deliver here for pile number 2 in regards to what is being orchestrated here and organized by the universe for pile number 2? Look at that. Look at that. Contract. Okay, this is this card in the tarot. Justice, bringing justice. I mean, it says contract here, and I do feel as though, like I was explaining, you know, we make these decisions to experience lessons that allow us to ascend as a human, right? Because we could consistently stay flat here and not experience anything, and then what's it all for? So it's like we're ascending, we're evolving, we're raising the vibration of humanity here with these lessons. So we make agreements with what we want to experience in order to be a better version of ourselves. So our higher self knows what these lessons are, and we have a contract to fulfill here in which we are ascending and bringing balance and justice to ourselves. So I feel like there is a need also, because we do see the scales, and the scales is all about, you know, obviously balancing. And I said these were both balance cards because I feel like there's a divine masculine, divine feminine energy needing to come into balance. And that could be within ourselves, regulating, knowing our own self-worth, not being, you know, completely in our masculine energy. Because being completely in our masculine, I mean, sometimes it requires us just organizing and going. But if we're not in divine feminine, we're not receptive to what the universe wants to give. We're not receptive to working with others. We're not in an energy of allowing things to flow naturally and kind of allowing things. We're kind of trying to control things here in this emperor. And I mean, both emperor and empress have light and shadow attributes, but it's how do we balance ourselves in a way that lets us receive. Okay, so I think this is what the universe is working with us, so we could see a balance here, and a balance in a partnership here that might be at a crossroads, and it might be stopped, it might be stagnant. So we have the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. This is our crown chakra. This is this energy I was telling you about, where we're getting enlightened. Okay, we're getting enlightened with a knowing here. We have our intuition, which might be telling us something that we're maybe not seeing, but we know. And we know to choose something here because we're being fed information from our higher self, from source. Okay, crown chakra is all about getting downloads, being open to spirit, being receptive. Okay, not fighting it, not resisting. So I feel like the universe is giving you this sort of information here in order to bring you the victory I feel you really want. Look, as she has the crown here. Okay, she's being crowned victorious here. So I feel like there is a victory to be had here, and you are being divinely guided here with this angel throughout this process here. But I think it's difficult for you to move along here because there might be resistance. I feel the key is really to look at this inner child and to embrace what you've experienced here, and maybe, you know, developing a confidence in self, knowing your self value here, that you are worthy and deserving of love, even if you've experienced something otherwise. Okay, and not to maybe be in an energy where you feel like you're second guessing your ability to love self or to give yourself what you deserve here emotionally. So yeah, that's what I see here for you guys. Beautiful. That was the Justice card. Beautiful. Libra could be significant for you guys in your birth chart. Okay, I just heard Libra because it did come out twice here. So it could be your sun, moon, rising. And we have Leo, of course, with the strength and the lion here. And then Aries, Leo, Sag. Aries, Leo, Sag. So Leo coming out quite a bit here as well. Okay, so beautiful pile number 2. I love you guys so, so much. I hope this resonated for you. Leave a like, leave a comment. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. We have the LINGAM stone. Okay, and this stone is all about bringing in balance. So mind, body, spirit. And what's interesting is the moonstone was coming through with the same sort of message, so you may be drawn to pile 2 as well. But the Shiva Lingam is affiliated with the masculine energy, although could also be appearing as feminine energy, although I feel it is representative of the masculine energy within. Okay, so could be significant for some of you guys. We're looking at what is the universe orchestrating for you, okay? What is this divinely timed energy going on that's being laid out for you? And we'll ask Spirit to see what Spirit wants to communicate here for you. Beautiful pile number 3. What is being divinely orchestrated here? What is this timing all about? And what does pile number 3 need to know right now about this? So let's take a look, and thank you so, so much, Spirit, for this clear and concise message for pile number 3. And thank you so much, pile number 3, for allowing me to tap into your beautiful energy. Let's see what Spirit wants to communicate. Now, we could always be of an energy of second guessing what's going on and why things are going on, right? So this reading could be allowing us to get more in a receptive type energy to understand why the universe is doing what it's doing. so that we can kind of get to where we want to go, or kind of ascend a little quicker, because the more we resist, the more things persist, right? So doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go away, but we want to get to where we're going. So what do we have? We have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords. We have the Eight of Swords. Lots of swords. We have the Five of Swords. We have the Queen of Squirrels, which is special to this deck right here. Queen of Squirrels. Okay. Why is this Nine of Swords here? We have the Knight of Swords. Wow. Okay. Why is this Eight of Swords here? We have the Three of Cups. Why is this Five of Swords here, Spirit? We have the Six of Pentacles, and then finally this Queen of Squirrels is clarified by the Sun, which is interesting. And the Sun was in reverse, but there's a huge Sun and the Queen of Squirrels here, very similar. Okay, this is like half the Sun, and this is the full Sun, divine masculine energy, and we're talking about divine masculine energy here. So that's interesting coming through. Bottom of the deck, we have the Devil, and the Devil is in the Shuffle Tarot represented by the Fool. Okay, this is feeling very similar. I was going to say familiar. It is familiar and similar to the pile I just read, pile number 2, if you were drawn. And because both of these are meaning balance, mind, body, and spirits coming to balance here, could very well be another message here for you guys. Beautiful pile number 3, if you were called to. But I do want to read this Queen of Squirrels, because like I said, it's the special card here, and all these cards have their own particular meaning here. And in this deck, the Queen of Squirrels is Arabic, so that's not what I can read. Queen of Boop. There it is. Queen of Squirrels. That's this card. So it says, a lull, a recall, peaceful, sincerely, fresh, in the moment, aesthetics, and beginning. Okay. So we'll get into that as we go. But bottom of the deck energy is the Devil. Okay. This is kind of the tone, the flavor of this whole reading. When it's in the bottom of the deck, it kind of sets the pace of the energy in which we're feeling here. And this is kind of a little bit counterintuitive in some way. Or no, it's an oxymoron, because the Devil's held back and the Fool jumps forward, or at least wants to have a new beginning. Okay, so being stuck, being held back, Devil energy, and the Devil energy, we could say, is an energy of us maybe being stuck in some sort of situation in which we feel we're being held back by something that's keeping us back. Okay, Devil is toxic ways that we could be engaging, patterns, people, behaviors, addictions, restrictions, feeling bound to situation, unable to move forward, but we feel really stuck, but we're able to move forward. And that's the key of it here, is that, you know, we have the Fool, which is all about taking a leap of faith into something new here. And so I'm feeling like, I think you want to move forward. I think there's an opportunity for you to move forward, although it's almost very kind of like, at least the Devil I know versus the Devil I don't know. This is what I'm getting. Okay, because if we break free from whatever Devil we have going on here, and I feel there is some sort of fulfillment we're getting from this Devil. Okay, we're either we're overindulging in something, or we're getting something out of this Devil energy. But if we break through from the Devil energy, we might step into an unknown here. And the unknown sometimes is way scarier than the Devil, because we just don't know where we're going, and we might not want to take that risk. Although I feel you want a new beginning, and I feel like you're being kind of called towards something here. Okay, yeah, I feel you're being called towards something here. And I see the dog here on a chain. I feel like there's other energy here or something here that is being impacted by your actions. Maybe you're trying to keep something, someone, something, hold something back, or allow something to stay back or keep back, or hold something to yourself. Or there's something here that I think you want to attain. Okay, you want to attain, but in order to attain it proper, I feel like there's a needs to allow it to be, what it is. So we're trying to make something or someone or a situation here hostage because we might not be ready, or we might not be in an energy here that could support whatever this is. And I feel like whatever this is giving off the energy of something that is quite supportive, is something you potentially love, or something that loves you. It could be a loyal friend. Okay, a loyal friend, someone you want by your side, someone maybe who's been by your side, a situation here in which you want to partake. Okay, so it could be, you know, a job you're dedicated to or loyal to, but you don't quite want it to go away, or like to quit or give it up, but we're not in an energy to give to it or allow ourselves to. So it's like we're sabotaging or sacrificing something here that we care about because we are sticking with the devil we know. Okay, so in this energy here, I see this Nine of Swords, which is your first card. And the Nine of Swords is all talking about that mental prison, the anxiety, feeling anxious, you know, having nightmares and feeling bad about things. And our thoughts keep kind of going on replay here, which holds us back. We could be feeling really bad about this, okay? Because sometimes we understand when we're being devil, or in a situation that is being devil, but we're playing the game, or we're allowing things to happen in a way. So I feel like there's an understanding here and an anxiety, maybe because we also know that maybe there's something better here, but it would require us taking a sort of a leap. So I feel there's anxiety, but this Nine of Swords is depicted in the scene of the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is where we've been through a battle. Okay, this is the wounded warrior, the spiritual warrior, somebody who's gone through, and then it's kind of like, like, I don't know if I have enough more in me to go through, right? But this, in this depiction, he has the Ace of Swords here, hanging on to the sword of truth, because I feel like there is a truth that needs to be embraced in order for us to not feel held back, in order to go forward again, maybe to embrace the Fool energy. There needs to be a communication of truth. There needs to be clarity. And maybe we're foggy, because the devil energy could be we're foggy, you know, we're distracted, we're engaging in things that are distracting. So we need to get clear, we need to get honest. And in our thoughts, we might not be very clear because of maybe external circumstances, or because we're deciding or choosing whatever situation has us stuck. Okay, I feel it needs to change, and what the universe is kind of putting in front of you here is this Knight of Swords is depicted like this Death card. Okay, that's the Death, and Death's all about transformation and putting things to an end. Knight of Swords is very quick moving action here. It's a flurry of action. It could be someone you know, saying or doing things here in the heat of the moment without giving it much thought to the ramifications to get an outcome that one wants. It could be hurtful words or actions here. It is quick, and I do feel like it could be also talking about an abrupt exit of sorts. An abrupt exit of sorts. So maybe there was a quick action here that you're wanting to take or have, and involves transformation. Okay, let's see if this comes through. There's something about transforming, something needing to come to an end, something that made a quick exit, but then also something about confronting something here. Yeah, look at both holding a sword of truth. There's something that needs to get clear in order for there to be a transformation and a speaking of truth, but I feel like something's made a quick exit here. And look, 8 of Swords depicted as the 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands, communication, forward movement, a breakthrough, things moving, distance, travel, movement. The 8 of Wands is progression, but depicted here in 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is giving me this type of an energy because it's where we're in a mental prison held back by our own limitations and our thoughts, our actions, our intentions, but mostly it's something we believe to be true that holds us back or holds us captive in our head, so we can't, you know, sleep at night, we can't eat, we can't function, we don't know or can't get clear enough to break out of a devil because we don't have the clarity, we're not embracing a truth or taking the action to do so. And this, all these swords aren't like the 8 of Swords where we're, you know, where the person's blindfolded and captive. These are moving. So it's like there needs to be communication and truth in order for there to be movement. There needs to be a release of whatever thoughts you have here in order for you to progress through actions and through words here. Okay, through actions and through words, which I feel like could be hurtful. It could be hurtful, but it's needed for transformation in order for there to be a breakthrough in your situation. And I feel like maybe there was a flurry of words and a flurry of actions that weren't in line with truth. I feel like you were kind of acting from a place of limitation of what you were telling yourself, but you're still held back. So whatever words came out, whatever words were coming out, whatever action you took here, whatever action you did take here, I feel resulted in some pain, okay? Resulted in pain. So this is the 3 of Cups depicting 3 of Swords, which is, you know, experiencing heartache. Someone's words, actions, intentions caused another or themselves a lot of pain. So the 3 of Cups is reconciliation, is coming together. It's making a truce. It's our friend network. So we could have been, again, the loyal dog here. We could have said something to our friend group or friends, maybe someone we really cared about here. We hurt them. We were holding them back. We were not allowing them to be themselves because we were maybe in fear that they would leave us or that they had to kind of stay by our side or something with a friend, okay? And maybe you want to come together with this friend or reconcile with this friend. I feel like this is somebody who could even be, you know, your brother, your sister, your spouse, someone you feel very close with here, okay? Like blood brothers. Doesn't have to be of blood, but you could feel like someone you feel very deeply connected to here. And I feel like the damage has been done. I feel like we've said or we've done something here, okay? But I feel like this is transforming the situation. So Spirit's coming in now with, because the whole point of this reading was, you know, why is this universe kind of divinely orchestrating something here? And I feel like this has been orchestrated here in order for things to change, for there to be a transformation, for you to recognize something here about this devil energy. And I mean, we can't hold prisoner here someone or someone by our side here, or a loyal energy here that is impacted greatly by your being in a devil energy, okay? So I feel like the 5 of Swords has happened, and when we experience a 5 of Swords, nobody wins, and then we look back in remorse. So this 5 of Cups scene, looking back in remorse, feeling sad, maybe thinking of reconciliation, maybe thinking of the damage we did, maybe thinking, how can we put the pieces back together? How can we come together? You know, I've said some things here, so we're looking back in sadness here. Maybe at how we self-sabotage. Maybe we know we were kind of to blame here in a situation. And I do feel like you feel a very close bond here with this person, because we're getting the 6 of Pentacles depicted in the 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups is our old friends, people from the past, you know, our friend group from when we were kids, who we went to high school with, our soulmates, you know, our family. you know, or cousins or brothers or sisters, or, you know, people who we grew up with here, or we feel very close to home with. We have an experience here where damage was done, and you can flip this. If this isn't your energy, this could have very well been your experience here, okay? But I feel like the Six of Pentacles is talking about equal give and take, and being generous, volunteering, giving, giving of material things, but also giving of time and energy and effort and investing here in situation. So I feel like we're trying to look back on a situation maybe where we could have invested differently. And I feel like what we could have invested was how we invested. I feel like you might be looking back that you invested in a situation in a way that you're not proud of here because of the devil energy that you were bound to. So we might have gave more significance or priority towards what was holding us back, what was toxic, what wasn't working. And it resulted in us saying or doing things here. And now we are feeling like this, okay? So a lull, but a beginning. The universe is saying that out of whatever situations happened here, because I think there's no point crying over the spilt milk, that's what this card's about, that there's a beginning here, okay? And the sun is starting to come in. We're starting to see clearer. And I feel like we are empowered. And now the divine masculine energy is coming in with empowerment, because we're being called by spirit to do something, okay? And in order for us to do what's right, we have to align that our actions, right, does not make us who we are, but we have to learn from our actions, and then we have to forgive ourselves, and then we have to align what Spirit's wanting for us, and we get enlightened, and we get empowered to know how do we break out of a devil energy and take a risk or a jump away and free ourselves from something here. Even if that means maybe losing a friendship here, we have to go into the unknown here in order for things to change and have a new beginning. And I feel like the risk here is maybe coming forward and looking to see how we can reconcile, giving to a situation that we don't know we might get back from, but we feel we owe something here, or we want to show up differently. We want to engage differently in a way because we feel like we're getting empowered to break away from something here. Otherwise, we feel stuck. Okay, so the sun is coming out, and I feel like you're being enlightened here. The sun in reverse, it's coming out. Okay, the sun's super positive. Either way you spin it, the sun is the sun, but I feel like when it's in reverse, it could mean we're quite not seeing clearly. Okay, because we were saying we need to see something here clearly, understand something clearly in order to speak something clearly. And then we need to speak it clear in order for things to get moving, in order for there to be a coming together or a reconciliation with a friend here. So we need to see, we need to get enlightened, and we might need to be get enlightened of where we're feeding a devil energy that's holding us back. So I feel like all of this is happening really to come back to you to say, are you in a devil energy? Are you held back by situations here in which you're absolutely have the ability to free yourself from? Are you getting clear about this? Have you gone inwards? Here's the Hermit. The Hermit is not only about healing, but it's really going inwards. This is like really taking the time to look within and being very honest, to find enlightenment, to find answers that are clear, in line with the truth. Have our actions been in line with the truth? Have our words been in line with the truth? Have our intentions been in line with our truth? Okay, so we got to reflect, and we got to think about how we weren't in line, how our actions, how our words weren't clear here, okay? Might have provided uncertainty, might have provided dark times, might have kept us kind of in an energy here of, yeah, feeling really held back. So look at under that, the Wheel of Fortune, okay? And this Wheel of Fortune came in reverse, which could mean that you're feeling like you're down and out, or things are turning in a bad way here for you. And they could be, because I feel like the energy here that you are maybe in is, you know, feeling like you experienced the Five of Swords. You might have been in self-sabotage mode. You might have said things, or your intentions didn't come out, and now there's hurts. So you're low vibe. And Spirit is pointing and saying this wheel can turn, okay? This wheel can certainly turn. Divine timing is in play, but not only is divine timing in play, but we got to take action here, okay? So we got to take action. We can't be lackadaisical. We have to take action when we're called. So you're going to be called to take action here. New beginning, new beginning, new beginning. All the aces, new beginning. You can't wait for the wheel to spin, because it could spin and we can miss it. So you're going to be called for action here, okay? To bring justice, to manifest something. You're going to have to act. So this is what I have for you guys. Beautiful pile number 3. If you're drawn to another pile, please go check that out. I will see you soon. Love and light. Bye.